Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh dan selamat pagi. Okay, sebelum kita masuk ke cuti midterm, kalau boleh saya nak cover dulu pasal reaction process yang melibatkan calculation dan final exam test ni. Okay, sebelum ni kita dah cover pasal cara nak buat polymer by several technique which are apa nama tu? Bulk polymerization, suspension, emulsion, solution. Dan sekarang macam mana polymerization technique tu kita boleh run dalam reactor. Okay, this is type of CSTR reactor, blood flow reactor. Okay, ini dia punya apa panggil? Stirrer dia. Okay, we will look at one by one. Okay, the polymerization reaction and the properties of the resultant polymer are determined by the nature of the polymerization reaction, and the second one is the characteristic of the reactor employed in the reaction. So the reactor is essentially the heart of any polymerization process. Okay, to perform its functions satisfactorily, the reactor must be able to remove the heat of polymerization, provide the necessary residence time, provide good temperature control and reactant homogeneity, control the degree of back mixing in a continuous polymerization, and also provide surface exposure. Okay, residence times is the time that the atoms or molecule has spent in the reactor for a given time. Okay, maksud dia residence time ni berapa lama masa atom ataupun molekul dia akan spend masa dalam reaktor tu. Okay, makin lama makin bagus. Okay, how the reactor affects the reaction process? Okay, first it affects the conversion of the monomers to the polymer. Okay, and secondly, effectively establishes the ultimate properties of the polymer such as polymer structure, molecular weight distribution, copolymer composition. So kita boleh pilih antara 3 reaktor. So antara 3 ni kita akan tengok yang mana yang paling terbaik yang boleh menghasilkan high conversion ataupun high yield of the polymer. Then reaktor ni juga dia akan effect polymer structure. Okay, sama ada dia punya conformation dari segi tacticity dia, high molecular weight ke low molecular weight ke, dia punya polydispersity index, molecular weight distribution dia. Okay, so itu akan semua akan effect penggunaan reactor. The general characteristic of a reactor, it must be economical to operate and it must be applicable to mass production. Therefore, the control of polymer properties requires a careful selection of a reactor appropriate for the particular polymerization process. Okay, we have 3 types of reactor which are batch, continuous third tank reactor ataupun CSTR, short form dia, and the last one is plug flow or tubular reactor which is PFR. Okay, schematic diagram dia macam ni. This is the insert of the material. Okay, ini adalah stirrer and this one is the Y ataupun out of the product. Okay, and schematic diagram of PFR adalah dalam bentuk tube macam ni. This is the came in of the material and material came out, and this is the continuous stir reactor and batch reactor. Sorry, this is the batch reactor which is discontinuous stir tank reactor. Okay, simple. Yang ni dia tak ada dia punya flow in flow out. Okay, look at the batch reactor first. A typical batch reactor consists of a tank with an agitator. Agitator ni adalah agitator, an integral heating or cooling system. Okay, which is outside the tank. This is the cooling system. This vessel may vary in size from less than 1 liter to more than 15,000 liters. They have usually fabricated in steel, stainless steel, glass-lined steel, glass or exotic alloy. Liquids and solids are usually charged via connections in the top cover of the reactor, vapors and gases also discharge through connection in the top, and the liquids are usually discharged out of the bottom. Okay, and advantages, it is very useful for small scale reaction, and it also can produce high conversion by leaving the reactor in the reactor for a long periods of time. While for disadvantages, it will produce or exhibit high labor costs for unit production. Large scale production is also difficult, and it is used for fermentation and pharmaceutical production. Okay, ni dia punya jacket for cooling, and this is the heating or cooling inlet, and ni pun heating and cooling outlet. Okay. In batch reactor, the reactants are usually well mixed by agitation, and the reaction initiated by heating the vessel externally. Later, the reaction exotem supplies the needed heat, and heat control may be required by refluxing the solvent. Okay. Usually, they are terminated, quenched, or transferred to other equipment before the viscosity becomes too high. Maknanya dalam proses polymerization dalam batch reactor, biasanya dia akan ada step initiation, propagation and termination. Okay, so dia juga akan di-quench ataupun rapid cooling, ataupun dia akan ditransferkan. Okay, so material dalam tu, polimer dalam tu, dia akan ditransfer kepada equipment lain sebelum viscosity dia meningkat. Okay, so high viscosity ni dia akan produce transderms effect, okay, which is not good, which can lead to gelation. Okay, heat removal is a major problem in batch reactor. It is due to the large increase in viscosity of the reaction medium with conversion. Okay, as the conversion increase, the viscosity also will be increased, and this lead to the problem of the heat removal. And some methods for heat removal are by using the heat transfer to a vessel jacket, and the internal cooling coil by using the circulation of the reaction fluid through an external cooling loop, and overhead condenser to remove heat from the monomer or diluent in vapor phase. Okay, as well, advantages of the batch reactor, it is very suitable for small scale reaction. High conversion can be obtained by leaving the reactant in the reactor for a long period of time, and also it is very easy to clean. For disadvantages, high labor costs, large scale production, and product quality more variable than with continuous operation. Okay, we will look at the second reactor, which is CSTR. And CSTR is an ideal. The ideal CSTR is a reactor with well-stirred and back mixed contents. In a CSTR, reactant and product are continuously added and withdrawn. And in practice, the mechanical or hydraulic agitation is required to achieve uniform composition and temperature, a choice strongly influenced by process consideration. And the CSTR is the idealized opposite of the well-stirred batch and tubular blood flow reactor. Okay, biasanya CSTR ni dia menjadi kegemaran industri sebab dia proses untuk produce polymer ni dia continuously dan dia senang. Dia tak payah nak transfer macam batch tadi, dia transfer ke tempat lain dulu untuk dia elakkan viscosity dia increase. Yang ni tak perlu. Okay. So the characteristic of CSTR, the composition of the contents of the reactor is uniform throughout the reactor, and the exit stream from the reactor has the same composition and temperature as the reactor content. Okay. The application of CSTR in suitable polymerization process will reduce the heat removal problem encountered in batch and plug flow reactor due to the cooling effect from the addition of cold feed and the removal of the heat of reaction with the effluents. CSTR is economically attractive for industrial production and consistent product quality, even though the supporting equipment requirement may be relatively substantial. Okay, ni dia kata kat sini, exit stream from reactor has the same composition and temperature as the reactor content. Okay, ni maksud dia. Okay, in material inlet sama dengan material outlet. Dia takkan berkurang dia punya quantity di dalam ni. So the continuous standard reactor, also known as VAC or backsmith reactor, is a common ideal reactor type in chemical engineering. It has some advantages, which is used when intense agitation is required and easy to maintain the temperature. So disadvantages, the conversion of reactor per volume of reactor is the smallest of the flow reactors, but it is very easy to maintain, and very large reactors are necessary to obtain high conversion. Very large reactor necessary, or more than one reactor is needed. Okay. CSTR is suited for achieving high conversion. However, it has limited application in polymer production and is more suited for chain growth polymerization. Okay, macam yang tadi dia kata conversion dia smallest. Okay, smallest ni kalau diguna satu reactor saja, kita boleh produce dia punya conversion tinggi bila kita gabungkan dia punya reactor dia. Okay, maknanya daripada reactor A ni, dia akan material out ni dia akan ke reactor seterusnya, iaitu reactor B. Dia akan ada many CSTR series. Okay, bila ada many series, dia akan boleh produce high conversion. Okay, so that's why dia kata kat sini it's suited for achieving high conversion. However, they have limited application, hanya boleh produce untuk chain growth polymerization sahaja. Untuk free radical tak boleh, sebab free radical bukan free radical, maksudnya untuk yang step growth ni, which is condensation polymerization, tak boleh guna continuous state reactor. Sebab apa? Sebab state growth polymer require a high degree of conversion, which cannot be obtained in a CSTR. The high viscosity characteristic of polymerization reaction media present temperature control problem. So the alternative that can be made is by putting a number of CSTR in a series makes high extent of reaction is possible to be achieved. Okay, maksud dia. Dia boleh produce high conversion, tapi kena buat di dalam many series. Okay. Some advantages of continuous state reactor. Okay, boleh baca sendiri. Kita tengok PFTR. Okay, PFTR is used to describe chemical reaction in continuous flowing system of cylindrical geometry. So as the name suggests, it is essentially a tube or unstirred vessel with very high length diameter ratio. Okay, this is the insertion of the material and the output here. Okay, fluid flow in ideal PFR is orderly with no element of fluid overtaking any other element, and the residence time for all elements flowing through the tube is the same. Okay, PFR are reactor where reactant mix, react, and then flow through multiple compartments in the reactor. So the vapor aid with mixing and cause the reacting material to take a longer path through the reactor. And this allows more time for the reactants to be converted into product. Okay, this is baffle, okay, overflow baffle, and underflow baffle. Some characteristic for PFR, it has a favorable surface to volume ratio and has a relatively thin walls, and these features help to enhance heat transfer efficiency. In addition, like the batch reactor, it is suited for achieving high conversion. Okay, some usage of PFR is very useful for large-scale production, high-temperature application, continuous production, homogeneous or heterogeneous reaction. Homogeneous ni yang boleh sebati, heterogeneous ni yang tak bercampur, unmixed, okay? And also lead to fast reaction. Key problem occurred in PFR that will reduce production capacity and aggravates the heat transfer problem is temperature